All right, this video will be about variables and expressions. So we'll go through the review first. Change color here. Okay, so x plus x is 2x. So whenever you have just a plain x or a plain variable, you can imagine there's a little imaginary 1 in front of there, and so then you can just add the 1 plus 1 to give you 2x. Next we have x minus x. So again, this would be like 1x minus 1x. And if you take 1 minus 1, that would be 0. So we're going to have 0. All right, next we have negative x minus x. So that's like a negative 1x minus 1x. So that becomes negative 2x. Then there's x times x. When we're multiplying two of the same variable, we get into what is called an exponent. So this becomes x squared. Next we have x divided by x. So we could rewrite this as x divided by x that way, and it becomes a little bit more clear that this is just 1, because anything divided by itself is just going to be 1. All right, the last one is x minus a negative x. So if you're subtracting a negative, that becomes an addition problem. So this is really x plus x, which, like we said before, was 2x. All right, so now how do I simplify? Well, first we need to talk about like terms. So we need to combine our like terms, and your like terms are the matching terms. So we have what I call the variable terms, and that would be like x and 4x. So they both have an x and they both have just one of them. Then negative 7a and 12a. So those both have an a attached. Or 4a squared and 20a squared. So because they both have a squared in there, we could combine those two terms. So aside from our variable terms, we have our constant terms. And so those are just your plain numbers. So they could be positive, negative, they could be a decimal, as long as there's no variable attached. All right, so some examples. Here we've got 4y minus, and then in parentheses, 12x plus 8y. So this really is like a minus 1 times that. So this will become 4y, and then distributing that negative 1 through, this becomes a minus 12x minus 8y. So then combining my like terms, if I highlight those, I've got a 4y and an 8y, and then take that sign. So that's really a negative 8y. So 4y minus 8y is a negative 4y, and then I'm left with that minus 12x. Now I cannot combine anything further, so we are done. We're simplified. All right, here we have 3x minus 1 minus 7x minus 5. So again, we want to distribute that negative through. So this becomes 3x minus 1 minus 7x, and then a negative 1 times that negative 5 becomes a plus 5. Okay, so my like terms here, I've got a 3x and a negative 7x. So that becomes a negative 4x. Then we still have minus 1 and plus 5. Now we've still got some like terms, that minus 1 and plus 5, so I can combine those. Minus 4x plus 4. And then we could even go a step further. So notice how these both have 4s in them. We can pull out a 4. So divide both of them by 4. And we would be just left with negative x plus 1. Okay, so now evaluating expressions. So this is when you are given like a substitute this in for x and this in for y. So we'll just do some examples of these. So evaluate the expressions when x equals 4 and y equals negative 2. So all we need to do is just plug them in. So this becomes, my x is 4. So 4 times my y, which is negative 2. So this becomes negative 8. Here we've got x divided by y. So this is 4 divided by negative 2, which is negative 2. Here we've got x plus y. So that's 4 plus a negative 2. So that really is 4 minus 2, which is 2. And then we've got 4x minus 6y. So 4 times 4 for my x, minus 6 times negative 2, which is my y. So then simplifying that, 4 times 4 is 16, and then a minus 6 times minus 2 is a positive 12. And so that would be 28. All right, so hopefully this was helpful. If you've still got questions, please reach out.